The desert sun beat down like a hammer on Ashley Quinn's back as she stumbled across the rocky trail, her boots worn thin, her breath shallow. She had been running for 2 days, running from a crime she didn't commit, running from a sheriff who wanted a quick conviction, and running from the fear that no one would ever believe her innocence. Her dress was torn, her canteen nearly empty, and her once carefully braided hair hung in wild strands across her face. The desert stretched endlessly, orange and gold, like a burning sea. She kept telling herself she could make it to the next town, if the law didn't catch her first. A distant sound pricked her ears. Poofbeat. Not slow, not wandering, purposeful. She froze, crouching behind a cluster of sagebrush, and pressed a hand over her mouth to quiet her breathing. The hoofbeats grew louder until she could hear the faint jingle of spurs. Whoever was coming wasn't lost. They were tracking. Ashley's heart pounded like thunder. A horse stopped only a few feet from her hiding place. She heard a deep, steady voice. "You can come out," the man said. "If I wanted you dead, you'd know it by now." Ashley swallowed hard. She stood slowly, ready to bolt if needed. And then she saw him, tall, broad-shouldered, a worn brown hat shading sharp, steady eyes. A cowboy, sun-scarred and calm, sitting atop a chestnut stallion. His expression wasn't hostile, just assessing. "What's your name?" he asked. "Ashley," she rasped. "And before you say anything, I didn't rob that bank. I didn't steal anything. I was framed." The cowboy tilted his head slightly. "I know." Her breath caught. "You do," he nodded. "Name's Samuel Hart. Saw posters go up yesterday, but something in the sheriff's story didn't add up. So I rode out to find you first." Ashley stared. Why would a stranger help her? "Why?" she whispered. Samuel dismounted, stepping closer with slow, deliberate movements, like he didn't want to spook her. "Because I've seen innocent people get crushed by the law before. And I'm not letting it happen again." Her eyes filled with tears. She hadn't let fall since the night everything went wrong. Samuel handed her his water canteen. "Drink, you're safe with me." Safe. She wasn't sure she remembered what that felt like. But as she looked at this quiet cowboy with steel in his eyes and compassion in his voice, something inside her loosened. "Just a little." "We need shelter before nightfall," Samuel said, glancing at the horizon. "There's a hidden canyon a few miles west. We'll make camp, and tomorrow we start figuring out who set you up." Ashley nodded, exhaustion washing through her. For the first time in days, she wasn't running alone. For the first time in days, hope flickered like a match in the darkness, and it came in the shape of a cowboy named Samuel Hart. Samuel led Ashley through twisting canyon walls, carved by time and wind, the air cooler and softer than the desert beyond. The moment they entered the narrow pass, the world quieted. No hoofbeats, no shouts, no lawmen. Just the whisper of wind brushing stone. Ashley limped slightly, exhaustion dragging at her steps. Samuel noticed. "You're hurt," he said. "Just tired," she insisted. He shook his head. "Sit, I'll make a fire." She didn't argue. The minute she sank onto a flat rock, her legs trembled. She watched Samuel work, efficient, quiet, purposeful. Sparks rose as he struck flint to steel, and soon a small fire glowed between them. The warmth curled around her, easing the tightness in her shoulders. "Tell me what happened," he said calmly, as he sat across the fire. Ashley took a shaky breath. "I was delivering a package for Mrs. Granger, her sewing supplies. I walked past the Lone Ridge Bank right as the robbery happened. 3 masked men ran out. One dropped a money bag, and when I picked it up to return it, the sheriff rounded the corner. He saw the bag in my hands, and that was it." Samuel leaned forward slightly. "And you recognized the real thieves?" Ashley's fingers twisted in her skirt. "No, but I recognized something else. One of them had mismatched spurs, one silver, one rusted iron. I'd seen those spurs before, on Deputy Cole." Samuel's brows lowered. "Cole, Sheriff Mason's right-hand man." "Exactly," she whispered. I think the deputy planned the robbery and used me as a distraction. Samuel's jaw tensed with a quiet, controlled anger. Wouldn't be the first time a man in uniform dirtied his badge. Ashley swallowed. I keep thinking, if I go back, maybe someone will listen. If you go back now, Samuel said firmly, and Mason will drag you straight to jail before you get 3 words out. He handed her a tin cup of warm coffee. We don't run blindly, he continued. We gather proof. We track the real thieves. And we clear your name the right way. Her eyes lifted to his. Soft with gratitude, she didn't know how to speak. Why are you helping me? Truly. Samuel looked into the fire. Had a sister once. She trusted the wrong man. Sheriff blamed her for his crimes. His voice grew tight. She never got justice. I couldn't help her then, but I can help you now. Ashley's breath caught. The fire crackled between them, casting amber light over both their faces. The canyon walls felt like a sanctuary isolated safe. Thank you, she whispered, for believing me. Samuel met her gaze, steady and strong. I don't believe you, Ashley. Her heart sank until, he added softly, I know you're innocent. Something warm bloomed in her chest. Something deeper than gratitude. Something dangerous. They were riding before sunrise. The canyon glowing pale rose as light crept in. Ashley sat behind Samuel on the horse, her arms loosely around his waist. She tried to keep space between them, but the rough trail forced her closer, her cheek brushing his back. He didn't comment, but she felt the subtle shift of his breath. They were heading toward Dry Creek Ridge, the last place bandits were seen after the robbery. Samuel guided the horse with a skilled hand. Look for anything out of place, he told her. Ashley nodded, scanning the desert floor. After nearly an hour, she spotted it. Samuel, over there. He stopped the horse. They dismounted and walked to the patch of disturbed earth Ashley had noticed. Samuel crouched low. Fresh tracks, he said. 3 riders, light horses, they passed through yesterday. Ashley's breath caught. The robbers, most likely. She knelt beside him. What do we do now? Follow them. Carefully. Before they could remount, a shout split the air. Don't move. Ashley spun and froze. 2 riders appeared on the ridge above them. One was Sheriff Mason himself, rifle aimed down at them. The other was Deputy Cole, with those mismatched spurs gleaming unmistakably in the sun. Samuel's hand hovered near his holster, but he didn't draw. Mason scowled. Samuel Hart, should have known you'd meddle in this. Cole smirked at Ashley. Miss Quinn, you made quite a mess running off like that. I didn't rob that bank, she shouted. Cole shrugged. Tell that to the judge. Samuel spoke calmly. Funny thing, Cole. Seems the robbers left tracks, heading toward the ridge. Tracks that match your horse. Cole stiffened. Mason shot him a quick glare. Enough talk, the sheriff snapped. Ashley Quinn, you're under arrest. Samuel's voice sharpened. You're arresting the wrong person. Step aside, Hart, Mason growled. Ashley's heart pounded as Samuel shifted slightly in front of her. She's innocent, and you know it. The sheriff cocked his rifle. I'll say this once. Step aside, or I'll put you down. The world went still. Wind whispered across the sand. Ashley's pulse thundered. Samuel lifted his hands, but only halfway. All right, he said softly. You win. As he stepped aside, Cole dismounted with a triumphant grin, swaggering toward Ashley. But Samuel wasn't surrendering. He was positioning. In a single explosive moment, Samuel lunged, knocking the rifle from Cole's hands. Ashley grabbed a fistful of sand and flung it into Cole's eyes. He howled, stumbling. Mason fired, but Samuel rolled clear, drawing his revolver and shooting the sheriff's hat clean off. Run, Samuel shouted. Ashley didn't hesitate. They leaped onto the horse, Samuel swinging into the saddle behind her this time, urging the animal into a gallop. Bullets sliced past them as they tore across the desert. Ashley clung to Samuel, heart hammering, wind whipping her hair. For the first time, she wasn't running from danger. By nightfall, they had reached the rugged foothills near Berklaw Mesa. Samuel pulled them into a narrow ravine, hidden by brush. The horse, lathered and trembling, pawed the ground nervously. Ashley slid down, legs weak with exhaustion and fear. Samuel followed, gripping her arms gently but firmly. "You all right?" he asked. "They saw us," she whispered. "They know you helped me. You're a wanted man now." Samuel gave a faint, crooked smile. "Guess that makes two of us." Ashley stared at him, guilt and gratitude twisting inside her. "I never meant for you to risk your life." "Too late for regrets now," he said softly. They built a small fire again, its glow flickering across the rock walls. Ashley sat across from him, watching the flames dance. "Samuel, why did Mason and Cole chase us themselves? Usually he'd send deputies." "Because they're hiding something," Samuel said. "If Cole was in on the robbery, Mason either helped or covered for him." He paused. "Either way, exposing Cole exposes the sheriff." Ashley shivered. Corruption ran deeper than she thought. "What do we do now?" she asked. "We get proof," Samuel said. "Something physical, something undeniable. Money from the robbery, stolen banknotes. Anything they didn't get rid of." Ashley frowned. "So we find the real hideout." Samuel nodded. "Those tracks we followed, they knew we were close. That's why they came after us. But they wouldn't abandon their loot yet." Ashley met his gaze. "Then we finish what we started." A quiet admiration warmed his eyes. "You're braver than you look." She gave a tiny smile. "Necessity does that." For a moment, silence fell, soft, comfortable, charged. The desert wind hummed around them. The fire crackled. Samuel's gaze lingered on her a second too long. Ashley felt her heart hitch. She had no right to fall for a man who had risked everything for her. No right to lean on him the way she did. But in this lonely, dangerous night, his presence felt like something precious, something she wasn't ready to lose. "Try to get some sleep," he murmured. She curled up on her blanket, but her eyes stayed open, watching the silhouette of the cowboy sitting guard, his shoulders steady and fearless against the firelight. Hours later, when she finally drifted off, she dreamed not of running, but of Samuel's hand reaching for hers. Before dawn, they followed the bandits' trail against Samuel tracking prints Ashley couldn't even see. The desert shifted from blue to gold as morning rose. After nearly 2 hours, they found it. A small shack tucked between two boulders, with 3 horses tied out front. Samuel's voice dropped. "Stay low." Ashley crouched behind a scrub bush, heart racing. Inside, she heard muffled voices. Samuel crept toward the window. "They're counting stolen bills." "This is it." Ashley nodded, adrenaline firing through her veins. "What's the plan?" He gave her a tight grin. "We improvise." Before she could reply, a bandit stepped outside, stretching. Samuel lunged silently, striking the man across the back of the head with his revolver butt. The man dropped. 2 more rushed out. Samuel fired a warning shot. "Hands up." Instead, they dove for their guns. Ashley didn't think she acted. She grabbed the fallen bandit's revolver, aimed, and shot clean through the air, hitting the second thief's gun hand. The man screamed, dropping his weapon. The last bandit threw his hands up. "Don't shoot." Inside the shack, the table overflowed with stolen money bags, the proof they needed. Samuel tied the bandits up. "Ashley," he said, "we ride straight to Judge Hawkins in Iron Mesa. He's the only one who won't bow to Mason." Ashley's breath shook. Will he listen? With this much evidence, Samuel grinned. He'll have no choice. Hours later, they reached Iron Mesa, riding straight into town. Samuel marched the bound bandits and stolen money right into the courthouse. Judge Hawkins listened, eyes narrowing. "Sheriff Mason has some explaining to do." By noon, Mason and Cole were arrested. By afternoon, Ashley stood cleared of all charges. And by evening, Samuel found her standing alone outside the courthouse, watching the sunset bleed across the horizon. "You're free now," he said. Ashley looked up at him, eyes soft. "Not just because of the evidence, because of you." He stepped closer. "You deserve your life back." She shook her head gently. "My life doesn't feel complete without you in it." Samuel's breath hitched. "Ashley." She reached for his hand. "Stay with me." The tough cowboy, fearless in gunfights, unshaken by danger, finally looked undone. He cupped her cheek, brushing his thumb gently across her skin. "I ain't ever leaving you," he whispered. Their lips met slow, tender, full of everything they had survived. The outlaw and the cowboy, the fugitive and her protector, the woman who ran and the man who taught her to stop running. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Western stories.